everyone, I'm Tanya Gupta and I'll be telling you about web designing. Web design. Starting about the web designing, the most important thing is the design of a website. So when we plan and then we conceptualize and arrange the contents online, that is known as your web design. So basically it includes the aesthetics, that how we want a website or a web page to look, and also we are dealing with the overall functionality of any website. Basically, how do you want a mobile app to work, how it should look, or your web application, or you can say how the user interface should look like. That is your designing of a website. Next is web designer. See, a person who is responsible for making the interface or who is making the design of your website or your web page or your application, that person is known as a web designer. A web designer is basically an IT professional, and that IT professional is responsible for designing, for overall visualization, the visual appearance, also usability of a website. So a good web designer, they need to have both creative skills as well as the technical skills. Now comes web developer. So you have a design of a website, that how it will work, how it will navigate, what you want in front. But we have engineers, or you can say coders, people who design who make the code or who gives the language to the design that you have made. So basically they make the website functional. Next comes a user experience developer. Generally a web designer can also do this, but when we are dealing with high quality websites, then we have a UX developers. UX developers or user experience developers, they are basically the one who are making the website user friendly. So basically UX developers have technical skills, they have design skills, and they put all their skills to make the websites more attractive, and they are making it user friendly. Then why does design matter? Why is it so that we have to focus so much on website design that we have a different field, like a web designer we have a UX designers, and all these things? See, we all are well aware that first impression really matters. So basically a person or a user who is there, that person sees the website, the UX that is there, that is UI that is there in front of you. So basically whatever has been shown in front, that is what attracts the people towards your website. So the customer who are searching the web for a brand, they find nothing. They don't have any salesperson in front of them. They're not seeing anything, but what they're seeing is whatever is there in the front of their eyes. So that's why a website design matters. A good web design. Which design we call a good web design? See, a well-designed website is that website which perfectly creates the experience that visitor is looking for. So basically, if you visit a website personally and you see a very beautiful website, a well-designed website, you are saying, wow, it is so attractive. That is the one word we say, or we say, what a brilliant website. So that brilliant website is a good website. That design of a website is a good web design. So what makes a good design, a website design? If we are not using unfair means or inappropriate words, so we have a list of here some, you can say, points which we can include to make a web design good web design. Then compelling use of negative spaces, make less negative spaces available on the page. Then clearly presented choices for the user. User should see, and it should be very visibly there in front of the eyes, that why or what this website is all about. Then clear calls to action, that whatever you are clicking, whatever a user is selecting, that is being redirected properly to. Then there should be limited distraction throughout the complete journey. Then responsive design should be there. No matter where you are opening a website, it should be available everywhere, irrespective of the platform, irrespective of the screen of the size. Then appropriately sized fonts that follow a proper hierarchy. Always remember that we have a rule to be followed to make a good web design. Then you should have a relevant content, a high quality content. Irrelevant content should be avoided, right? So there should be a balance between the text that is there and images that you are using in a website. So what are the other building blocks that makes a web design good? So apart from all the points that we have just told, or we are going to discuss them, we have buttons, fonts and palettes. See, just now we talked about that yes, you should have a good and appropriate layout, right? Appropriate layout means you should use appropriate buttons, fonts and color palettes. The color palette is something which actually defines a website. Color palette is something which makes your website stand out. If you have a very beautifully designed website, if you have all the products listed in a proper manner, but you have not selected the right color scheme for your website, then it neutralizes the effect of the website. It lessens the effect of the website. Similarly, if you do not use the right font, then again, the website doesn't look authentic. The website doesn't look good. So we have to make the website look good. Now, what should we avoid? Like, we know that what we have to include, but what all things are there that we should avoid? First of all, avoid using distracted images and distracted backgrounds, because backgrounds and images are to enhance the user experience, not to spoil it, right? The non-responsive design. When we're talking about responsive designs, what were the responsive designs? That irrespective of the screen that we are using, irrespective of the size of the screen and irrespective of the device where we are opening a website, the experience of using the website should be same. Either I'm opening on a laptop or 15-inch screen, or I am using my smartphone with a very tiny screen, the experience should be same and the content should be visible accordingly. Then unclear links and buttons. Supposedly you visit a website and you see there, you click a link, but it is not opening, or it is redirecting you to something not related to the website where you are visiting. Then obviously you have trust issues first of all with the website. Then again, you will always say that what a waste of time, what a waste of space, that this website is not authentic or this website is not good. So now you have trust issues and you won't visit that websites again, right? Similarly, if the buttons you are clicking, they are not clickable properly, or if you are selecting an item but something else is being selected, then you won't like it, right? And you won't like the experience, overall experience, and you will avoid visiting or buying from that website again. Then generic or irrelevant stock images and filler text without valuable information. See, nobody likes to see or read irrelevant things. If I'm visiting a website, if I'm giving my time, I'm devoting my time to visit a website and read on it, or if I'm shopping on a website, I want relevant images which are available to me. Sometimes, even if a person is selling a product, but they're using lots and lots of props in the background and they're highlighting those props instead of the product, then also we get frustrated that if you're not selling this particular thing, then why are you showing it to us? So that's why we have to avoid irrelevant stock photos and we have to avoid irrelevant texts. Now, till now we were talking about a web, right? A website, or you can say a web page. But what is a website? See, when we are collecting or we are combining several web pages, it becomes a website. So website, we can define it as a collection of several web pages. What web pages? Not just random web pages, but web pages which are somehow related to each other, and web pages that can be accessed by visiting the home page. So basically you can use a browser like your Google Chrome, your Mozilla, and you can visit a web page, and then from that web page you can visit the other related web pages whose link is being provided on that particular home page. You can say the initial page which opens while searching on the search engine, right? So the collection of all these pages is known as a website. So website is basically identified with a common domain name, like your google.com, right? You visit other places or you search something from google.com, or maybe your amazon.com. You can take an example. When you visit amazon.com, then you have a common domain name, and there you go and search for the other things that you want to buy. So websites are basically published on the web server, and you can access them using the internet address, or you can use the URL, right? Now, talking about the types of websites. So we have several different types of websites with us. A website, an internet forum, you can call it a website. An internet forum is a message board where people can hold conversation by posting messages. So that is a type of a website. Or you can talk about blogs. People write blogs regularly, they update contents, they talk about a particular item, or they talk about random items. So basically, the blog, which is your content management system, it is a way of publishing on the internet, and that is again your website. Then comes your electronic commerce or e-commerce. So anything wherein you are doing business or you are purchasing items, that are all your e-commerce websites. Now, it's not just about purchasing. Even if you are showcasing your products and showing people that yes, we have this product, they are also part of your e-commerce websites. Right. Then comes online portfolio. So if you have multiple collection of images, multimedia, emails, blogs, entries, then hyperlinks, which is redirecting to you somewhere, then that becomes your website. Now, talking about the types of website, we can classify the websites in two types. Either our website can be static or a website can be dynamic. But what do you mean by static website? A static website is a very basic type of website, which is you can call as an information giving website, because it is very easy to create and the web pages, they use simple HTML. So in these websites, the codes that are there, they are very static. It's like there is information given and the website is being made, but there is no dynamic changes in the website. Like if you are visiting some blog and you are reading the blog, but you are not able to change anything, you are not able to reply to anything, that is your static website. See, you have a server and you have a client and they're just dealing with it. That means you're getting the output from the server, but no input is being sent to the server, right? Now, these websites are very quick to develop. They are cheaper, and they are cheaper to host also, they're cheaper to develop also, and they're flexible. But static websites requires web development expertise to update the site. So basically, if you are expert, you know the background code, then only you can update your website. And these sites are not useful for the user. That means it's not as useful, because you are just getting the information, you are reading it, and that's it, you go on. So contents here can get stagnant. So basically, if you don't update them regularly, they can get stagnant, right? And then scalability issue is there in the website. Now, there are a few of the website generators, although these website generators are common for dynamic as well as static websites. We have Jekyll, Hexo, Hugo, Octopress, Pelican, Branch, Roots, and Cactus. Then comes your dynamic websites. See, dynamic websites is a collection of dynamic web pages whose content changes dynamically. So here we can access the contents from the database or the content management system. So you can see here we have a database. We are taking out the content from the database and then we are using a website. Your normal e-commerce websites that you have, that are all dynamic websites. Dynamic websites means that suppose you have made a purchase. So you have made a purchase, the product is added to your cart, and then moving forward, you make payment also, and then you get a message also. You are getting daily updates that your product has been shipped. So all this is possible because of the dynamic website. So dynamic website basically is using a client-side scripting or server-side scripting or both. Right, so you can use a client-side scripting, or you can use a server-side scripting, or you can use both and then create a dynamic website. When we're talking about client-side scripting, then it generates content at the client computer on the basis of user input. And we're talking about the server side, then the software runs on the server and processing is completed in the server, and then plain pages are sent to the user. Now, what are the advantages of having a dynamic websites? First of all, there are functional websites, then update is easier, then new contents, if it is there at a regular update, then obviously people will get more interested and will revisit the websites, right? Then it works as a system to allow the staff or users to collaborate. It has a direct connection to databases as well as the content management system. But the disadvantage is, first of all, it is expensive to develop and it takes time. Then hosting of the dynamic websites, they are little expensive than the static one, and also they have a fixed design. So when we are comparing the dynamic and static website, so basically static websites are pre-built content in same time if the page is being loaded, but in dynamic, when you load the page, your content changes quickly, right, and regularly. Like if suppose you take the app example of Book My Show. If today you have booked a ticket here, and if other person is, it was he or she was looking at those seats, but the moment you book the ticket and the moment you the other person refreshes the application, the seats are gone, it's not there, so it's just being reflected completely, right? Then static websites are using only HTML code for developing a website, whereas in dynamic websites we have server-side languages involved as well, like your PHP, your Servlet, JSP, and your ASP.NET and other languages also for developing a website. Then static website is sending exactly same response for every request, but in dynamic the request is different. It may generate different HTML page for each request. Then in static websites, the content only changes when someone publishes and updates the file, right? When manually something is done on the web server, then only the content is being changed. But in dynamic websites, since the page contains server-side code, so basically it allows the server to generate unique content every time the page is loaded. When we talk about static website, flexibility is the main advantage of static website, whereas in dynamic you cannot change the design again and again. So that was all for today. Thank you.